In this bag, I have everything you need for a good night of sleep. Item number 1. Just kidding. Okay, so I used to hate waking up and feeling like crap every single morning. The worst part of my day was the start of my day. It sucks when you just don't want to get out of bed. It's like, how are you supposed to have a productive day when it starts so shit? So I used to hate that so much. Here's what I have done to change that so that when I wake up, I feel ready to go, ready to conquer the day. Okay, first thing, coffee. So I'll explain this later. This is kombucha, not coffee. So with caffeine, it's obviously going to keep us awake, it's stressing us, but what most people don't realize is caffeine has a half-life of 6 hours. So if I'm having it at 12, it might be 6 or it might be 3 hours. If I'm having it at 12, it's still in my system, half of it at 6 p.m. And then a quarter of the original amount is still in my system at bedtime as well. So if we're drinking caffeine after 12, we're keeping ourselves up even when we're supposed to be winding down. So if you're going to use caffeine, I think the most important thing is, sure, go all in the morning, but be cautious that if you're using it after 12, you're actively making your sleep worse. Okay, so I grabbed kombucha because I had to quit caffeine. I got anxiety from coffee, or it heightened the anxiety I already had. I was kind of in a rush all the time. I still am a little bit. You can tell by how fast I'm speaking here. But I just didn't need coffee. I didn't need caffeine. And what I actually found was I got way more energy from something like kombucha, because the probiotics, the living ingredients inside kombucha actually help digest our food better and faster. If we're digesting our food faster and better, we're getting more energy out of that food, and we're getting more of those nutrients from that food quicker. So we actually have more fuel to have capacity to do stuff in life. So I found huge benefits from switching from coffee to kombucha. Sounds weird? It works for me. Number 2. That's our light situation, guys. Everyone's heard of circadian rhythm, but why is your circadian rhythm so important? Or everyone knows you need a good circadian rhythm. What the hell does that actually mean? The circadian rhythm is the body's natural cycle of up and awake to down and resting. The way that this naturally occurs is with the sun. Our rhythms follow the rhythm of sun and moon, day and night. The thing is, in the past, we used to only have sun as our light source. That was the only light source. Now we have heaps of light sources. Light bulbs, phone screens, laptops. We're under more artificial light than we are natural light. When we're under natural light, our circadian rhythm, our nervous system, our eyes, the light comes into our eyes, into our pituitary glands, and our body knows what time of day it is, and our body responds accordingly. We have different levels of every single hormone depending on the time of day it is. But artificial light, phone screens, laptops, the ones in your house, they all have a color temperature which is similar to midday sun. So your body gets basically a signal the whole day that has nothing to do with helping the body decide what time of day it is, because the time of day determines the hormones and the chemical actions that the body needs to fire in order to have you feeling the best. If you live your days at this straight line where the body hasn't got the correct light information to determine what it should be doing with its resources, that might be why you feel up at the wrong times and down at the wrong times as well. So let's cover the tips that we've talked about so far. Firstly, swap caffeine for kombucha. This will naturally produce a lot more energy than caffeine might. If you're going to continue to, in my personal experience, you might find it's different. If you're going to continue to use caffeine, don't use caffeine after 12 p.m. Now, secondly, moving into your light. we need as much natural light as possible. We need natural light as early in the day as possible, and also natural light as late in the day as possible as well. So we want to be reducing our artificial light at least 1 to 2 hours before we plan on being able to fall asleep. This will help you fall asleep much quicker. Now I'm just going to show you how you can begin to reduce artificial light in your life. If you have an iPhone, and I think they have it on iOS as well, you can activate something called color filters. And this takes your screen to a very dark red. And this is actually on right now, but you probably can't see it. So that massively changes the way that your devices are affecting you. The reason I have these is so that even light bulbs turn on around me, the only color frequency that I get into my eyes is red light, which is naturally present at sunrise and sunset. So I'm getting much more natural color temperatures rather than what it tells me, which is midday sun, which I don't want. This is part 1. I'll break down more tips soon. This is a really complicated subject, but it's so worth having the energy every single day to be able to just go and produce and be hyped when you wake up and ready to smash your mission. I want every single one of you to feel like this too. Big love to you guys.